What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today it's going to be very simple. I want to talk to you about, in my opinion, the most important aspect to the game that Arsenal needs to improve in order for us to win the Premier League this season. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go through all of the big opportunities that we had against Athletic Club and just break down how I see it from an analytical perspective and tell you kind of the reasons why we scored the goals we scored, and then comparing that to the moments that we did not finalize. We're beginning with 6th minute. Saka gets the ball on the wing, and in this moment he squares up to face his man. He does not shy away from his man, so he takes him on, beats him, and then now he's around the 6-yard box. It's quick movements here, so this is a little judgmental. But as you can see, he takes a shot near post. In my opinion, a shot here is not the worst idea. But I do believe if you're taking a shot in this situation, aim high. And if not, look for a pass. And as you can see, Gyökeres is on the far post. And this is a very harsh judgment, so I'm not really blaming Saka for taking a shot here. However, I would say if he is going to take a shot, aim high, because the keeper's got pretty much the near post covered unless you can sneak it through his legs. And as you can see, Odegaard in this position, he's making no run, which is bad because he should be making a run into the box. In this situation, there's probably not much he can do here. If Saka does lay it off to him, the goal is pretty much covered by 3 defenders and a keeper. But keep that in mind. There's going to be a similar situation where I talk about Odegaard in this situation, in this environment, and it's not good. So now we have the 11th minute, and we have Martinelli with the ball on the left. And at first when I saw him take this shot, I thought it was a good choice. He got it near the net, not on target. But I think if you take a shot from this situation with 2 defenders inside of you, as long as you can get it on target, I think that's a good idea. But as you can see, Saka is wide open really on the back post if Martinelli is able to square it centrally with a ball on the ground. And honestly, potentially a very easy goal for Saka here if Martinelli would pass it. And you notice Saka gets very upset after Martinelli takes a shot, throwing his hands in the air. So you can pretty much be 100% certain that Saka believes that this is an easy position for him to receive the ball in from Martinelli as well. And these are decisions that are crucial, and that will be crucial when it comes down to Premier League play. Okay, so far, these 2 opportunities felt like the wrong decision. Martinelli should not be taking that shot. He should be squaring it. Saka also should either be taking a shot high or crossing it to Gyökeres. Now we have the 12th minute Rice. Beautiful ball over the top to Saka, which I love to see, which is a very important decision in my opinion that he made, to kick it wide in the central position in the midfield as opposed to trying to pass it on the ground and lead its way up. Just get it up there immediately. I think that's a very intelligent tactic that has been pushed this preseason, which I love to see. And once again, Saka in a similar position, stands up his man, takes him on and beats him again. And in this position, I want to point out Odegaard. Right here, his defender who's right in front of him cannot see him, right? And so what do you do when your defender doesn't look? You go towards the goal. But even in the play leading up to this, even in the pass from Rice, Odegaard was just jogging and not really intentionally towards the goal. And these are the main points that I want to make. This is the most important aspect of this game. Odegaard as a number 10 has to be goal driven at this point in his career, at this point in the reign of Arteta. And this is just not good enough. And this is the thing. Decisions are not always the ball carrier's fault. You know, if they don't have an option, what else can they do? You need the runners off the ball, in this case Odegaard, to be aware of the situation and to take it into his own hands, even though he doesn't have the ball at his feet, to make that run into space. Because as you see on the next slide, Saka's past his man, and there's like 10, 15 yards of space in the box that Odegaard should be covering so that Saka can just lay it back for Odegaard to take a shot. Instead, I think Saka pulls it across goal and it's kicked out for a corner as he was aiming to Gyökeres, who is completely covered at the back post. So this is a situation where Odegaard has to take responsibility as an attacker, as a center attacking midfielder, because that's his role when you're playing alongside Rice and Zubimendi. That is your role, and he does not take it in stride. So now we go to the 20th minute, Zubimendi with a beautiful little layoff right here, winning that ball off his defender. Saka catches up to it, and Gyökeres notices Saka's run and decides to pull up, and Saka finds him with a layback. Great decision all the way around, and it ends up being a shot on target. Should have been a goal from Gyökeres, but we move. At least, I think he stumbled and he still got it on target. You can blame Gyökeres for not finishing that, but all things considered, the decisions is what I'm talking about, and those decisions were the right decisions from the runner, from the player with the ball. Something I want to point out as well, going back to the Odegaard photo, is Odegaard was watching Saka the whole time. And so there's a touch like right here when Saka's entering into the box. Right as he makes that touch, Odegaard is staring at him. So Odegaard must, after that touch is taken into the box, cut towards goal in that moment because he knows it's happening. He's watching him. Instead, he decides to just lay back, stand at the top of the box and create no dangerous runs. Okay, so now we go to somewhat of a fast break here. Calafiori gets the ball up to Martinelli, and Martinelli's pushing it, waiting for Gyökeres to make a run. And I think in this situation, honestly, I think Martinelli could just pass it to Gyökeres here as opposed to waiting for him to make that run behind the defense and see what Gyökeres can do in this situation around the top of the box and see if he can dribble past the player, get a shot off. Instead, not a bad decision, potentially not the best decision in this situation. But once again, also, it potentially is the right decision because he could pass it to Gyökeres and get it intercepted, or Gyökeres could be tackled, right? So finishing this play off, Gyökeres gets the ball and he beats his man who's sliding, looking silly right here. And Gyökeres, great awareness. Something I want to point out, his patience in the box is something we don't see from Arsenal players. It's a next level. It's world-class mentality to calm down because that's where he plays. He plays in the box, and so he's not rushing to get a shot off or get a pass off. He's going instinctually, finding the best play and the best pass. And in this situation, I think he makes that, which is a layback to Calafiori, who blows it over the net. But it's not a bad attempt, and it wasn't far away. Then we go to the 33rd minute. Odegaard here, right? And this is what I'm talking about with runners off of the ball. We have Gyökeres, Martinelli, and Saka all making the same exact run to the same exact spot. 3 of them, and not one of them deviates. And honestly, in this situation, I think the one who needs to deviate is Gyökeres, because Saka making that infield run from the wing, Martinelli just going straight up, where he is positioned right now is centrally, and Gyökeres, I believe, should be cutting outside. And Odegaard also makes a bad decision here by laying it on the ground as opposed to over the back of the defense, how we saw other goals scored in this exact game. And those are decisions as well, like when to play it on the ground and when to play it in the air, and Odegaard makes this wrong decision here. He's not given much help given the runs of the attackers. However, he still has a part to play, and he doesn't choose the right option in this situation. Putting it on the ground, gets kicked up, almost heads into their goal for an own goal, but goes out for a corner. Now the 34th minute, Saka recovers this ball off of a corner from Declan Rice. He squares it up to Zubimendi. First time Zubimendi comes and kicks it into the box, right? Zubimendi's awareness that we just came off a corner kick. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men in the box, 5 in a dangerous, 4 or 5 in a dangerous position. So he's like, let me just swing this in first time, not allow the defense to really get set. Great decision, perfect decision. Gyökeres runs onto it and gets his first goal for Arsenal. From one decision, really, from Zubimendi, understanding this is a dangerous moment. I don't need to take a touch. Let me get it into a dangerous area. World-class pass, world-class finish, world-class header. And then here we have our second goal. Gyökeres, with his back facing the goal, somehow passes it. Even that is an interesting pass from Gyökeres, but it works out. You know, play the runner that sees the pitch. That's something that you're taught at a young age as well in this game, and he does it. Simple, keeping it simple. And it's just a bunch of one-touch passes, which I think I mentioned in my newsletter. All of Arsenal's goals in open play and from corners have come off of one-touch passes and one-touch goals. The assists and the scorer all have had one touch, minus Havertz, who took 2 touches to set up Merino against Newcastle, I believe. And so here we have Gyökeres drop it off to Odegaard. Odegaard one time, great decision, passes it over the top as Martinelli is making that run. And you have Martinelli and Saka with 2 defenders. So it's a 2v2, throw it up in the air and see what they can do. It's a great decision. Perfect pass as well. Martinelli lands at his feet, takes one touch. Saka keeps his run going, stays onside, and Martinelli lays it off. And instead of taking a shot, another great decision for Saka to have a shot on an open net. And the quick decisions too. And then we have Gabriel, right? Gabriel gets the ball about 5-10 yards back, and there are 4 players around him. And I've seen plenty of times where we have midfielders and attackers get the ball with plenty of Arsenal players around them, and they kind of just pass it to whoever is next to them. Gabriel, a center back who's been out for months. This is his second performance for us back from injury, and he takes it into his hands. He's like, I'm going to make a run, and he sees Madueke, and he finds Madueke and gets him on a little counter as well. Our center back. So our center back is making these right decisions. We need our midfield and attack to step up as well and make them. So Gabriel lays it off to Madueke, and Madueke, great run from Gyökeres, actually perfect run from Gyökeres. He's not really covered, so you expect him to make these runs. And then Madueke takes a touch and finds Gyökeres for almost the second header of the game. And even in this, like this decision by Gyökeres to head, maybe not the best decision in that case. He could probably take it down on his chest and have a shot, or potentially just fly a foot out and try to volley it. I don't know. I'm not really sure about this example. Maybe that was the only way he could have gotten to the ball, a diving header. And in that case, great decision. All around, really good decision, hit the post, almost leads to a goal. It's like when all the decisions are lining up, it's making sense. And then here, I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to do this, but this is simply how the cookie crumbled in this match. With Odegaard being in these positions and not making the right decisions. This is debatable, right? Because this decision to not cross it in this situation led to a goal scoring opportunity. However, I believe that if he had crossed it here, it would have been a much better decision made by Odegaard, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, as we can see in frame, 4 players and 1 defender. And there's probably another defender behind this one that we can see who's not in frame. As we can see, it's 4-on-1. And those odds, put it near post, is the best decision in this situation. And instead he pulls it back, recycles it, and we get it down the wing, ends up at Saka's feet, and he puts it in the box. Havertz gets a flailing shot off. And not terrible, a good result, but probably not the best result in that situation. And then the final example I have is the final goal we score. I believe Ben White, perhaps Gabriel, heads it forward, lands at Saka's feet. Once again, one touch. Saka's not even facing that direction, so it's a beautiful pass in this case. Over the defense, right? And here's the thing. The defense in this frame is 3. The defense in the next frame is 4. There are 4 defenders in this situation, and Saka still goes for it. It's a 4 against 1, and we end up scoring. Havertz, beautiful run, following the ball, takes 3 touches and buries it as he goes to ground. So if we can score in these situations with 4 defenders and 1 attacker, we should surely be putting that pressure on more and more in the games against our opponents. In these situations, instead of settling the ball down, pushing it forward and trying to counterattack, we've really lost our counterattacking abilities over the years, and it's in exchange for a more composed, possession-based team, which I love, actually. I think it's strong. It makes me less anxious when I'm watching the games. I think it's something that we have an advantage over Man City and Liverpool. However, we've failed in comparison to those teams because we don't score as much as those teams. Even Chelsea, we don't score as much as of these teams who push a more free-flowing open play. And I think we can get the best of both worlds as long as we're making quick decisions in the final third and we're making the right decisions in the final third, like I've just shown you. I believe all the goals we scored came off of 2+ right decisions in consecutive moments with little touches, little thought processes, letting their intuition take over and lead the game. It's very simple, and I think if we can only improve our decision making, especially in the final third, but even in our third and in the midfield, knowing when to hold on, when to slow the pace, and knowing when to push it. Odegaard knowing when to enter into the box and go for goal. You know, we don't have to be so open and exposed how we were against Newcastle or against Villarreal because we're attacking and sending everyone into the box. We don't need everyone into the box. That only clogs it up. We need to know when to send specific people into the box, and they need to know when to make specific runs. And I believe that will be the key to our season, the decisions, making the right decisions in the right moments. And it sounds obvious, but no one's really talking about it. So I hope you guys like this video. Please leave a like. It means a lot, and it pushes this video out to more people so that they can see, so that people can see that not every Arsenal fan is deluded. Thank you. But yeah, I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. And come on, you Gunners. Season starts in 4 days. I cannot wait. Find what you love and let it kill you.